growing up as a Gen Z is realizing that most of your favorite child stars were abused. Welcome back to another episode of I Hate It Here. It is a bright and shining morning in the United Kingdoms. All of the adults are asleep. Everybody's asleep because everybody's probably all having to digest all of the overeating that they've been doing over the last couple of days. Honestly, it's kind of wholesome. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of wholesome that people are actually like happy. Anyway, so I was thinking, I've been thinking a lot, obviously. This whole prefrontal cortex, prefrontal lobe thing is not a joke, It's actually sad, I feel like. Listen, let me just give a quick disclaimer before I say the next statements I'm going to say. I'm not trying to say that my generation is suffering more than any other generation. I'm just speaking from my experience. It's like me trying to say, if I tell you guys my experiences as whatever, it's just my experience, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean my experience is more or less important than anybody else's. I can only speak from my own experience. Anyway, I really feel like in a lot of ways, we're so screwed in the sense of like, at the start, like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, right, in Hollywood, it was all the fun and games, right? You had all these child stars and like looking at the old school, like stuff that I used to watch. It's the Britney Spearses of it all. It's the Amanda Byneses of it all. It's the Raven Simones, Demi Lovato's, Alison Stoners, like all these people who, God bless them, were such a big part of my childhood growing up and like what actually really inspired me like a lot. I wasn't really somebody that grew up like wanting to become a Disney princess. I never considered myself as a princess actually until probably more recently, to be honest. I always felt like I was in the queen status since I was like 8. I used to call myself a queen. And people tried to correct me. Like, no, you're not a queen, you're a princess. I was like, no, I'm not a princess. Because who's telling me what to do? But on a serious note, it's so sad because they were so talented and like, as somebody who's always been passionate about the creative things, that's something I'm actually struggling with at the moment, is like, it's kind of just blown the wind out of my sails in a lot of ways of just like wanting to create, because I feel like from what I'm seeing, I've been doing a lot of research into like what was happening in the 80s and the 90s, especially even when like the likes of a lot of artists were like coming up and it was new and like culture was moving, like, things were being like birthed and like there was creativity, there was talent, there was, there was creativity, there was talent, there was passion, there was authenticity, there was realness. And at the same time, and that was from the adults, and then like at the same time, you've got these kids, which obviously, as a young child, I'm so grateful that I had just a very normal upbringing. I wasn't famous. I'm so grateful to not be more talented. I know that's such a weird thing to say. I'm so grateful. Like, I'm so grateful that I'm not like an incredible singer, an incredible dancer, an incredible anything, because I feel like that would have just been the recipe for abuse from what I'm seeing. And obviously the world wants to believe, and this is the season of like us all ignoring the elephants in the room, isn't it? Because everybody just wants to play happy families because it's Christmas and it's the holidays and it's the best time of the year, whatever the heck. And I just can't participate in this anymore because I can't hide and I can't ignore the world that I'm living in. And the fact that like, it's so sad to see these guys as adults. A lot of them are like my age or maybe like 10 years older than me. And it just feels like you either gave yourself into the degeneracy of it all, so like an Ariana Grande kind of moment. I mean, she even went through hypnotherapy to remove her memories. I believe she really did, and I believe she had to. I believe that's why she's so great at what she does, because she's been able to like remove the effects of the trauma of remembrance of what she went through and just almost go about life as like a child. You know what I mean? And just like enjoy singing and being great. And I should have just gone to the flipping other store at this point if I'm gonna. Anyway, and now she's so now of course I like when I see her, like, it's so clear to me that you either, for all of these child stars, right? Because I'm going back and forth about it myself. Even when I used to go to cheerleading competitions or dance competitions, cheerleading more so than dance, because in cheerleading, everybody's naked. We're all like half naked, let's be honest. I used to think when I would watch like the younger groups, because usually like cheerleading competition, usually obviously they go do the younger ones go first. They're like early in the day, and then like the older ones, and then it's like the more serious teams are like later in the day, like if you're competing to go to nationals or if you're trying to get a bid for worlds or whatever. And which again, ironically, worlds cheerleading is held in Disneyland. Don't know if you guys knew that. Disney World in Florida, which again is another place. Like growing up, I went there when I was a kid, but don't remember it because I was like 3. There's photos of me being there, and growing up I was always like, oh my gosh, I would love to go back. Like I don't even have a desire now to even go there, because all the stuff that Disney's involved with, and just behind the scenes, knowing that so many of these executives are just creepazoids. Can I just say, I really do feel like my whole childhood was an entire lie. It was just a lie. It was a lie. We were all there supporting, because I don't even feel like I want to support a lot of those older things. Like in my mind, I would love to go back and rewatch like all these shows. Even when I was a choreographer, my song of choice that would always get me in my creative zone would always be the Cheetah Girls, Amigas Cheetahs. Amigas, Cheetahs, friends were... that was always my go-to first song I play, like in the studio or if I was at home, wherever. And it just all feels like a lie. It all feels like a lie. And it's the worst part about it to me is that I really should just walk to that store. The worst part about it for me is that what was I going to say? People look at these people for over the years and they judge them like, oh, so-and-so's on drugs. Like, I just saw the story of Amy Winehouse. This is probably what put the nail in the coffin for me. It is really beautiful in the morning. I love all the hours before 8 a.m. and after 8 p.m. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. are the hours of the day that I can't stand, because those are like people hours where people are just peopling. It's really nice. It feels really nice to be out. Actually, I have an idea. I'm going to go, because my mouth is really dry. I'm going to go buy a drink. Then I'll go and sit in the park for a little bit. Hold on a minute, everyone. Guys, I've been trying to cut back on these energy drinks. I don't drink them all the time, yeah, but I love me a good cherry boost. A cherry boost energy drink, and it's like the worst poison you can possibly put in your body, because it's one of these like heavily off-branded, God knows where it's made and what's in it, but boy, is that stuff like crack. So I try to avoid them, but then when I'm in the mood, I'll treat myself. Should I go sit on the swing? I'm gonna go sit on the swings. That would be nice. Forget sitting over there, I'll go sit on the swings. Guys, the other day, like last month, one night I was coming back from wherever I was coming back from, and the sun was setting, and like this park is a perfect place to sit during the sunset, because you can see it beautifully, and there's trees everywhere and grass everywhere and just nature. And the sun was setting and it was raining, and I was just on the swing, and I was feeling euphoric. Anyway, I saw this Amy Winehouse thing, right? And she basically, in the lead up to her death, a lot of stuff happened, and I've been realizing, like, it's not even just the child stars. Like, I really believe, like, the Whitney Houstons, the Michael Jacksons, the Elvises of it all, they're all killed. Let's be so freaking for real. Like, let's be so real. I don't even care to really say allegedly and stuff. You know why? Because even if I get sued on this earth or have legal issues on this planet, yeah, all will be revealed on Judgment Day. So that's the court case I care about. Oh, wow, it's even frosted over in the park. Everything's frosty. Oh, the swings are a bit wet. But yeah, like, And, just before Amy Winehouse died, you know, she was trying to cut back, like she was actually trying to look after herself. It's so annoying how people treat these celebrities as if like, oh, if they could just get clean, if they could, why would you turn to drugs? It's like, they didn't turn to drugs, bro. They are suffering. How is that not obvious? Like, how is it not, oh, I can actually sit the other way around. How is it not obvious to folks that these people are suffering? It's not that they just casually thought, oh, I'm going to ruin my life. Like, this is why I've never understood that sentiment that people have when it comes to addicts in general. I'm like, do you really think that people wake up one day and think, oh, I'm going to ruin my life? It's the same way I think about, like, I'm on the swings. It's the same way I think about a lot of these gang members, right? A lot of these gang members, they found a community, right? They found a community. They found people, they found leaders, they found people that would fight for them, people that have their back. Like, I think a lot of people take those things for granted. That's why I hate seasons like this and why I don't want to participate, because something just doesn't sit right with me, knowing that, like, I'm just here enjoying myself, having a whale of a time, and there's people out there. Like, I'd rather actually spend my time figuring out how I'm going to do more to, like, be there for others out there and, like, help people who are not as, blessed as I am in a lot of ways. And like, so anyways, back to Amy Winehouse. She wanted to, like, take a step back. She wanted to get clean. It was kind of like with Britney. When she had her kids, though her kids became her everything, even more than her career. And again, for the rest of us in the world who are not rich or whatever, you would think, oh my gosh, you must be so lucky to be so rich and have all these opportunities. Like, why would you give it up? Parents today, like, I know from my job, like, are really so happy to actually put their kids somewhere else. Because I think about that sometimes. That is a big dog. Hi, doggy. That is a big dog. I love all dogs, honestly. I was about to say I love big dogs, but I love all the sizes of the dogs, to be honest with you. I love all of them. Oh my gosh, is that a Rottweiler? No wonder I spotted this dog, because I want a Rottweiler so freaking bad. I'm just praying that when I finally can have a dog, right, I'm going to go to a dog shelter and there's going to be a Rottweiler in there, because I am going to go to a dog shelter because, everybody, all the doggies deserve a loving home. Morning. I think he's looking at me strangely because, like, why is there a woman? Like, she looks young and short enough to be there, but she looks too old to be there. That's how everybody looks at me when I'm in the park. That's the slight perks of, of looking childlike, is that I actually can get away with being in the park, other than the fact that people kind of do look at me a little bit sideways, because there's something off. I get it. But yeah, like, she wanted to take a step back. Like, Britney wanted to, spend more time with her kids. Amy Winehouse wanted to take a step back. She was thinking of going to rehab. And her dad was the one who then, when they went on, like, a family trip, she just wanted to do, like, a thing with just her and her dad and just, like, her family and stuff, and just, like, not have any cameras there and just, regroup. And her dad still invited the camera crew because, obviously, money have to make, innit? Like, that's how some people think. Every day, all day money. Honestly, dogs is truly a reflection of the owner. That's one thing I've noticed, because of the hours I'm out. It's always when dog walkers are out, and it's because we all don't want to talk to anyone. These people, they're smart. This is what I realized. The dog owners are smart. They realize that screw having close relationships with humans that are going to betray you and use you for money and power and fame and extortion, exploitation, or manipulate you. You have a nice, loyal, loving dog that you guys could just exist happily together. I get it. But yeah, the dog owners and the dogs, they always match, and it's so funny to me how that happens. Anyway, oh yeah, I forget the bit where I'm at. Actually, I'm not going to say what happens here all the time. But anyway, yeah, and then, like, she wanted to just take a breather, and her dad was all like, she doesn't need to go to rehab. Like, so many times things are happening to people, yeah? And the world is acting as if these things are just happening out of nowhere, and the person going through it is just, like, actively, intentionally, purposefully trying to be problematic. When in reality, so many of the times, they're actually trying to, like, survive. Because that's how I look at it. When I see, like, even when I see, like, say, like, homeless people that are clearly addicts or whatever, I'm like, you know what? At least they're still alive. At least they're fighting to live. Especially as somebody who's tried to take my life so many times. I'm like, at least they're fighting to live. At least somewhere in there's a will to live. Because I don't even have one of those. Like, to be honest with you, I just have a love for the Lord, and if the Lord wants me here, hey, Lord, hey, I'll do your work. I only have to be here for like 90 years. I've basically done a third of my existence, probably more than a third. So I've only got to do this like twice more, and then I get to be in eternity in paradise. So we'll just ride it out, you know what I mean? But yeah, like it's like at least they're fighting to stay alive. Like that's how I think about it. And it's sad that they're in such circumstances. They're so talented. Like to think Britney Spears was in Las Vegas doing a residency on lithium, right? Which I've been looking into lithium for reasons we'll get into on another day. She's literally on lithium, right? She's drugged out of her mind. She's being manipulated by her family and the industry. She's on drugs that she's being prescribed. But then as soon as she decides to go in, and this is always the thing, when it's the Diddy's of it all, and when it's the James Spearses of it all giving the drugs or giving the alcohol and all this, then it's fine. As soon as those people go and do those things for themselves, even Britney just takes a night off and everyone's painting her as whatever. Like, I just hate it here, right? And she's still teaching her dancers. And then the jury of the frippin' sheeple, the stupid world that I hate living in, yeah, then has the audacity to turn around and be like, oh, what's wrong with Britney? Why do all these stars choose this? I'm like, she's fighting to survive. The fact that she's pulling off doing all these shows and like under these circumstances, and she's still freaking killing it. She's looking gorgeous on stage. Like when you're on stage, this is why I think everybody should have to perform on stage just once in their life, like in some kind of creative aspect, not just a public speaking, some kind of performance aspect, and something that goes on for like more than an hour. Because when you're on stage, you don't have a second, like it's not like the rest of the world where we have work or we have our little lunch break and you have your little 5 minutes this. You're on stage, you're carrying the whole energy of the room. Like it all like lies on you, and it's an insane amount of weight to actually carry on being on stage, because it's like, if you, like, whatever you do, however you act is going to immediately affect the people. Like, this is why I have an issue with, this is why I've said to you guys, I don't believe that. I've never wanted to, like, sing in church, like, as an adult. I used to sing in church until I was about 12, and then I was like, nah, I don't think this is for me, because I don't feel like I've got the right heart to do this. Because I'm leading people in worship. I don't just see worship leading as just like, oh, I get to see, I've got a beautiful voice, so I'm going to sing some songs. Like, no, I'm leading people into the presence of God. Like, I'm, like, helping people, I'm helping create the atmosphere that, that people can experience the presence of God. That's like a huge deal. You know what I mean? So I don't take that lightly at all. Yeah, me going and singing on a little flipping stage, singing whatever, that's one thing. You know what I mean? Like singing some songs, singing some worldly songs, singing some whatever in another aspect, not that important to me, but like, So I just think like that amount of the weights that you have to carry like on stage, keeping up with your choreography and singing and the band and everything. And like, you're the star. When you're in the middle, like you're the star. You're what people are crying over. People have spent their hard-earned money to come and see you. There's so much pressure, right? So for us to have treated these folks and for them to have gone through the things that they did, like I honestly, I really feel like they're all just trauma. Everything about them is trauma. Like I remember that song by Demi Lovato, and I listen to it every now and then because I kind of get it, where she's coming from, and it goes, and the lyrics are my life, my choice, my life, my voice. And she's singing about how she gets to do whatever the hell she wants, and she should be able to do whatever she wants. And I could hear like the voice of like, her as a kid. Like I can see everybody as children. I can see the child in everyone. Oftentimes when I talk to people, I can see what they look. I don't know if it's normal, but I can kind of see what they looked like as a child, like in my head. Well, not in my head. When I'm looking at them, I can just see them as a child. And I'm just like, that's the Demi Lovato that was singing. It was the Demi Lovato that was like sexually abused on set doing camp rock, while some of people like me are all excited about, we can't back down. And we're all getting excited. There's too much at stake. All of this, like an idiot, not knowing that. And as she's doing all of this about singing how she can't back down, meanwhile, she's being taken advantage of on set. Are you kidding me? Like, I hate it here. So yeah, it's quite sad, and so to think, and then when these people die or these people go overdose, oh, you should speak up, and it's like, speak up to who? Because you got the fans who are just, completely enamored, idolizing you, right? And who you feel all this pressure to be an example for, because everybody puts that weight on your shoulders. You have the people that are supposed to protect you, your friends and family, who are just in it for the money. And honestly, if they know that you taking a step back is going to affect their bank account and their lake house and their beach house and their private jets that they've been getting on and their Cartier, whatever they're going to get for you from Christmas, and their Louis Vuitton, then no, they don't necessarily want to see you take a step back for your mental health, because now that's affecting their lifestyle. right? And then you have the industry, which of course is only looking at you for money. That's why they're always taking advantage of kids. That's what I've been thinking about a lot. Like, why is it always kids? But I know now, it's the reason why it's always kids is because they're easy to manipulate. They don't know their rights. Like, the types of things that the industry could have convinced me of at 16, even 18, yeah. I was an idiot at 18. That's crazy. I think one of the worst things that could have happened to me at 18 is exactly what I did, which is moving out to the city by myself. To London of all cities. Sorry, I'm so dehydrated. I'm also getting completely distracted by these two young lads that are just out being kids, which is so nice. I love watching kids being kids and just getting to live and I just want to be as far away from them as possible so that us adults just don't ruin it. You know, the childhood. That's one thing about working with kids is you really like, when I'm just there observing them, you know, they're so attentive. They're like paying attention to everything around them. They're very like kind of fragile almost and like influenceable. And I'm also watching the clouds moving, which just looks, God's artwork is just, there's nothing like it. I always end up sitting directly facing the sun, and I promise you I don't do it on purpose, but I'm sitting exactly in front, exactly facing the sun. And whenever I go out, wherever I decide to sit, without noticing, I just sit wherever it feels natural, and I always end up sitting facing the sun. It's so weird. And directly facing it, exactly in line with the sun. Anyway, yeah, you know, it's really sad. Like, it's really sad to see all this stuff. Like, I was just thinking even of the lyrics of that song by Demi Lovato, "We Can't Back Down" from Camp Rock. There's too much at stake. This is serious. Don't walk away. It's not happening in our own backyard, in our own home place. That's sickening. Like, imagine singing that song lyric while you're going through what you're going through. And then because we've created a world that protects the abusers, right? Like I say about parents, if a child is well behaved, oh my gosh, you must have been raised right. But then as soon as kids are problematic, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know where they came from. I don't know where these demons spawned out from. And I'm like, I'm not trying to say that I'm blaming the parents. I'm blaming us as a world because it takes a village to raise a child. And that's why everybody in the village plays a part. Like, I see myself as a teacher. This is why I say, guys, I've been doing my part for the group project. This is why I'm like, listen, I'm out. I've done my time, and like, it's clearly not appreciated, nor is it worth it if other people aren't holding up their end of the bargain of the deal. Like, you know, these, I see myself that way, you know, I really do. And especially doing my job as well, you can see how key and important it is, because I see the difference. I see the difference in like the efforts that people will go for their children. And like, because like, say for example, Tia and Tamera, right, who are also, you know, were child stars, their situation was completely different. I mean, their parents were like war veterans, both of them. They met in the war, actually. And their story I find to be quite fascinating. I would love to hear about their whole situation, especially because they've got their parents, one of them's white, one of them's black. So I would love to know how that went down in the United States of America, and being in veterans at their age. I would be so curious to hear that story. And their parents are always on set. And that was another thing. A lot of times people didn't want to have parents on set in all of these situations for this reason. So you had like Drake Bell and Josh Bell, another perfect example, right? That's what I'm saying. It's like all of them. It's like most of them. It's literally most of them, right? Anyway, I was going to say Tia and Tamera, their parents are always there. And that's why I think that they kind of worked out life. Like Tia's doing a bit, she went a bit left field. I do believe her leaving, not being so serious about like God and stuff, the way that her sister was, led to this. And I foresaw all of this happening before it happened. But anyway, their parents are always there. So I feel like that's why they were better off. But like, you look at a Drake Bell and a Josh Bell, right? So Drake Bell was cast as like, I should do that as a separate video. I'm going to do this as a separate video. Should I do this? Yeah, I'll do this as a separate video. I'll do this as a separate video. But it's still going to be here. But just so that the videos are just not too long. I'll do that as a separate video because I have a lot to say about that. Because Drake ends up becoming talking to this underage girl and getting in trouble. Josh doesn't get into a scandal like that, but he's all hanging out with the David Dobrik's. Drake's dad never wanted to leave Drake alone. And that was a problem at the time. Josh was desperate to be famous because he never saw himself as a Drake Bell, because Drake was like the good looking one and then Josh was supposed to be the funny one. That's what they say. I personally don't even like how they did that, because that was like, again, the Jeanette McCurdy, iCarly thing of it all, right? Miranda Cosgrove, who played Carly, she was like the it girl of the show. and Sam Puckett, who was played by I just said her name, Janet McCurdy, again, and she wrote the book I'm Glad My Mum Died book, right? Because of the abuse that she'd endured, and not only just that abuse, but there's also the abuse of the fact that she was always cast as like the brash, kind of ugly, aggressive, like female. And even Amanda Bynes talked about that, how she would always be told like, you're not a Lindsay Lohan, you're not like the cute, sexy girl, which again, why are we even comparing the looks of kids? You're just like the funny one. And I'm like, what do you mean? Amanda Bynes was beautiful. Like, she always was beautiful. I think Jeanette McCurdy is beautiful. Like, I never thought Josh was ugly. Anyway, you guys get the gist. Like, it's all this stuff, and I'm like, this is what the world I grew up in. Like, I was just there like a freaking dumbass, idiot, stupid, naive, ignorant child, right? Supporting all these people, singing along to the everybody all for one, the real summer has just begun, to High School Musical, yeah? Doing the sing-along and the dance-along, yeah? Not knowing that half these people are being abused. Not knowing that most of these kids are being, like, Alison Stoner is one of the most incredible dancers. She was in Step Up. She was in all these things. She's one of the most incredible, just naturally gifted dancers, yeah? Homegirl has been through so much. And it's no surprise to me that they're all like, you know, like Raven, they're all confused about their identity, their gender, their sexuality. Of course you are, because you were violated and confusion entered the picture because it was forced upon you by predators. I flipping hate it here. I freaking hate it here. I hate this place. I hate this world. I hate everything here. That's why I can't pretend this holiday season to be, oh, happy holiday, have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year, or whatever this freaking song is. Literally, somebody shoots me in the head. By the way, I would never, I just want to just point this out. I would never, ever, 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 ever attempt to end my life with a gun, because that would just foster the, and again, that's another thing. People about get rid of guns, get rid of knives. Listen, I've known people that have been stabbed. I've seen people with knives. I've known people that walk around with knives and things like in my life. It's not about the item. The same way I'll go into my kitchen. I was in my kitchen yesterday making myself this little flipping lettuce wraps, which were delicious, by the way. I got this really nice salami. I might just go and buy it again because it was so good. And I got that because I'm not really a bread fan. I've been spoiled in Italy, guys. I can't drink the coffee and I can't drink the flipping. I can't eat the bread. I can't eat the pasta. Outside of Italy, I can't do it. That's why I be buying the energy drinks if ever I'm in the mood for something caffeinated, because I'm like, I can't do the coffee, mate. Well, I can, but it just doesn't hit the same. But yeah, like, I'm out here using my knife, chopping up me vegetables. That's the same knife. What, we're going to now go ban knives here? Like, we're all dumb here and dense, and we're all never focusing on the point. It's always some other stupid solution of something that we think is a good idea. And it's never the actual problem that we're dealing with, because the real problem, isn't the drugs. It isn't the weapons. It's the environments that people grow up in or are around or work in that create in them these levels of trauma, and then our societal dedication to ignoring the elephant in the room and protecting the predators that leads to this stuff happening. And then we wonder why. And then when these things do happen, we go and blame them. Like, oh, look, why do all the stars go off left field? Have you ever seen the world? Have you seen how on social media now that everybody can hide behind being user 375432, and they have a display picture of a duck, and they always be the boldest people acting like they got the biggest bollocks of all time, yeah, in the comments section, sending hate to others, right? Have you ever noticed, I don't know if you guys have seen this, that when creators actually clap back, like people that make content clap back at these haters, especially if they like DM them something like, oh, I never thought you'd reply. Actually, I really like what you do. They literally are just hating. Like, this is the world we live in, a world full of haters and losers. Because I'd like to see, I class all of these as a winner. Amy Winehouse, winner. Britney Spears, Alison Stoner, Demi Lovato, Raven-Symoné. Who else did I mention? Elvis, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson. I would class all these people as winners. They won so hard that the world was so afraid of them that they had to control them and torture them, because that's what the world does. That's what the world does. The world, you see Justin Bieber, and bless his heart, he's another one. Don't even get me started on Justin Bieber, because with Justin Bieber, that's like another thing that bothers me about the Christians. He's like trying to get with the Christians. He's trying to turn his life around, yeah? Right before he married that flipping witch, Hailey Bieber, his obsessive fan. And he goes to the church. He's all pastor, Carl Lentz. You could tell that. I could tell from his demeanor that what he was getting wasn't what he expected to get, and not in the sense of I expected this perfect like Christian whatever, but more so like I thought that this is supposed to be a good and godly thing. Like I thought I was making a good choice for my life, and I'm seeing hypocrisies because been there, done that, got the t-shirt, sent it back, PK, pastor's kid, yeah, alumni, you know, so I've seen it all. And like, again, the church failed him, and now look at the state of him. He was there. Why was he being given away for 48 hours? Oh, let's talk about Piper Rockette or Piper Rockelle. What's her name? I don't know. But this young girl again, and she was at the Bop House, you know, the Bop House that has all the OnlyFans models. Again, weird that like as soon as girls turn 18 and they start on OnlyFans, there's like a billion men like logging in and getting subscriptions again because they can do it in private. That's why when people are like, why do all the billionaires do evil things? I'm like, no. They do evil. Their evil things create them to become billionaires. And then when they're billionaires, they have enough money to protect themselves from anything actually happening. Oh my gosh, it's the Rottweiler again. Oh, there's 2 doggies. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, I love the doggies. Yeah, and like they do those things because they know they have enough money to pay people off. You hear the same thing that these weirdo pastors do, right? They pay people off. They pay people off for the things they're doing. It's like, yeah, look, you do me my sexual favors, right? Like freaking creepazoids they are. You do me these sexual favors. I'll pay you your money. People are desperate for money. That's why the devil loves to control money, because he knows he can control people because the world runs on money now, which again is a historical thing. Back in a long time ago and back in the village, money wasn't a thing because we all just had what we needed, and somebody in the community had it, and we all shared everything that we had, and we all shared our gifts and talents. I've said this so many times. If we were all living in a village, if we're all living in a village aspect, I'll teach all the kids, bro. But I better be getting some nice steaks from you, and I better be getting some nice apples from you over there, and you better be prepared to build my baby build me a wardrobe. You know what I mean? We all look after each other, like as a community. That's the point. That's what's supposed to happen. You know, you over there, you're into all your herbal medicines, and you're the one we go to when we have ailments, and you know how to do this, and we exist together. It doesn't cost us any money. It doesn't matter the state of the inflation or the stock market, right? Or whatever. We just support each other. But anyways, that doesn't exist anymore. But this girl, Piper, right? So she gets to the Bop House where all the OnlyFans girls are, yeah? They all had the house together. And again, I don't even know exactly what the term bop means, but I don't need to. Like, I'm at the stage, like, I've learned for a long time. I've learned the hard way. I just don't research certain terms when I hear them because I just know that I'm trying to preserve the very little amounts of innocence that I have left, even though my innocence was torn away from me before I could even speak. Anyway, you know, and she was underage. Her mum was the one getting her all doing all these sexy photo shoots, literally telling her friends when they had this show with a bunch of her friends, telling the friends, like, go and change, go and get something out of my daughter's wardrobe, get something a bit more sexy, something with like that's showing more of your body. Like, she's saying this to children. And then this girl's all hanging around with these OnlyFans models. She's all posing like, and it's her mum doing it, just like Kris freaking Jenner. Oh my gosh, I need a break. Hold on. Kris mother freaking Jenner. Those look like rain clouds over there. Sorry guys, I'm so dehydrated because I don't be drinking a lot when I'm asleep, when before bed these days, because I keep getting up every 2 hours. Why do I get up 2 hours every night and during the night to needing to go to the toilet? And it's because I drink loads of water before I go to bed by accident always. Anyway, Kris freaking Jenner, yeah, prostitutes her daughter. Again, this is why I don't want to have children. This is one of the main reasons I don't want to become a mother, because I don't want people to make excuses for my bad behavior because I have a child. You see now, yeah, everyone's ready to critique me, and honestly, I'm kind of better with that situation. I'd rather be here and get the full brunt of whatever criticism I deserve. A lot of it is undeserved, but some of it is deserved. I'd rather get that than like have a child and all of a sudden I'm infallible. Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. I don't want it. That's one of the main reasons I don't want to have kids, because I don't want to like just, I let a man ejaculate inside me and all of a sudden now I'm infallible. He's stupid. It's stupid. So anyway, Kris freaking Jenner, yeah, you can see I'm getting riled up now. Woo! Kris Jenner, yeah, prostitutes her daughter. Literally makes her redo the sex tape. Like, I'm trying, because again, as somebody who's actually worked in the field, like I always say to people, it's like what I say to people, when you read the Bible, don't just read it, like envision being there, like envision you're hearing this being narrated. Imagine the Bible's narrating something whilst you're actually there, you're physically there, right? Because it'll make you understand things so much more. Imagine, yeah, I'm thinking, I have the fruit of my womb. I've walked around, I've waddled around like a penguin, like Pingu, yeah, for 9 months, growing this child in my body. I've given up some of the greater things in like the deli meats I was just talking about just now because of this beef salami that I had, yeah, in my flipping lettuce wrap, yeah, the sushi, the caffeine, the coffee, you know what I mean, a glass of wine. I've given all of this up, yeah, to grow this beautiful child in my womb. Like, I don't get it. I don't get how people grow people in their wombs and then just do this stuff. I'm like, if this is why I don't want to have kids. I'm like, maybe it's just a disease. Like, maybe it's unavoidable. Maybe, I'm joking. There's lots of lovely parents. In fact, I have to shout out to the parents that I work with through my business, because they're so sweet. Like, and I've had such lovely conversations like the last couple of weeks with a couple of the mums, especially. Like, one mum, she called me and I was like, oh gosh, she's going to tell me that I've tortured her child. I just always assume the worst. But she was like, please, hi, can you really help me? I need some advice because my daughter, like, she wants to change schools. I don't know if this is the right decision. And I was so like touched that she actually thought I was worth asking for advice from. And I did have the answers that she needed, to be honest. And then another mom also had contacted me. I hadn't got back to her because I had assumed she sent me a message, and I was thinking, oh no. I was avoiding it, thinking, oh no, this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. This is bad, 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 bad. But she was like, oh, hi, I need some help with my youngest daughter because, you know, she's... da-da-da-da. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually like, I'm valuable in this life. Anyway, you know, so I have... And these are lovely. These women, like a lot of the moms I've worked with are just the most incredible women, you know what I mean? And they really inspire me so much, like, I have to say, and they make me like come back to my senses that like maybe it's not all bad. If it wasn't for them, I would have already got my tubes tied by now. And it's a miracle that we're getting to the end of 2026 and I haven't done it, because I think about it every single day. Every day I think about the fact that I have a womb and I can just end it now. Because I think, how do you carry a child for 9 months in your womb, right? How do you connect in that aspect, right? Because that's the other thing, like, you're creating a bond, you know what I mean? You're creating a bond, and on a spiritual level, you're also creating like a soul tie with your child, right? Which I believe soul ties are a good thing when they're in the right way, and they're a bad thing when they're in the wrong way. And you're creating that. How do you then go from that to directing your daughter in a sex tape? Like, what was she saying to Kim? Like, oh, Kim, can you just like put your leg over there so we can get like a nice shot of your butt cheek? Like, what is she saying to her? Like, really? In all of this, I really want to know, who is this flipping guy? Do you know what? Yeah, I will say this. Yeah, I will say it. I'll say it here and I'll say it now. It really do. Black guys really do be having extra comfortability to just stare at you for no good reason. Like, I can't even lie. And I think it's because I'm also a black woman, so they feel kind of entitled. Because a lot of them, yeah, when they talk to me, and it's the black guys in particular, because all guys of all races, all ages, or whatever's, like, speak to me, and it's interesting the things that they say. And the black guy always be like, they always ask me if I'm like from the place wherever they're from, they think I'm from there. And it's like, it's almost like it's a territorial thing, like, oh, aha, you're one of me. It's like, listen, if you think I'm about to have your Niger wedding, hey, no. If you think I'm about to be Ghanaian wedding, no. You think I'm about to be doing Zimbabwe, hey, no. No thanks, sounds like slavery. But then when they're really respectful, the black guys, because a lot of them are really actually also very sweet, I just want to say, but it'll always be a anyway. I'm just laughing at an idea I've had. I'm not going to tell you guys because it'll be really funny if I just like do this idea and just upload the videos, the content. Because I guess I'm a content creator. I don't feel like I'm a content creator. I just speak, and it just happens to be on the internet where people create content. Anyway. Imagine being a mum, yeah? And imagine, yeah. So some of these black dudes, I'm not gonna lie. Especially when I'm like looking at your hand, I can see that nice gold ring around that finger. You cheater. Red flag, I never talk. If I see a man with listen, the way I behave when I see a man with a wedding ring, this is why men should actually wear wedding rings, because I will be so respectful I will not look in your direction. I will not look in your eye. I'm not a home wrecker. I'm not like somebody who's like, listen, if you want to wreck your home, find another person because it ain't gonna be me. Like there was a guy actually like that, yeah, because I was sitting in the pond one time in the last like 4 or 5 months, a couple months ago. I was sitting at the pond. It was the morning as well, funnily enough. And I was just sitting there, yeah. And I was just minding my business. I was just admiring nature, like as I do. And this guy comes over, and he was a very handsome man, by the way, extremely handsome. He was like bold. He had a beard. I love a bold king, by the way. I actually think it's so cool when men go bold because I feel like it's giving wisdom. It's giving wisdom, yeah. So this guy comes over, he started talking, and then I did, because they always give me the freaking short listing of asking me the questions. Do you have a child? Do you this? Do you that? And I'm like, I know what this is. Like, I know what we're doing here because I've been here before. Like, this is not my first rodeo. This is not my first day at the office, my friend. I wasn't born yesterday. You know what I mean? But I also have my list. I'm like, are you married? And I always ask them, are they married? Like, because... And he was like, honestly, yeah, I'm married. And he's like, yeah, but don't worry. Like, I mean, you know, you could just be respectful and like, not, you know, you don't you just wouldn't text me all the time because you know, but my wife, she knows. And I was like, sir, this is not going where you think this is going. This is not about to be a home wrecker. Wreck your home by your damn self. Not with me. Don't involve me in this. But yeah, Kris freaking Jenner anyways. I can't stand Kris Jenner. Like, she's one of those people, yeah. I'm not a violent person, but if I had the chance, I would knock her out. Oh my gosh, I would knock her out. She's one of those people I would knock out. Yeah, I would knock her out, yeah, to be honest. I would. If I, like, not like if I just saw her. I wouldn't just see her and knock her out. I don't want to say this like I'm starting a fight, guys. I'm not trying to start a fight, yeah. But if the Lord allowed, yeah, this is why I say the Holy Spirit. And to me, the Holy Spirit, I feel like, you know when people like about to fight, and then things kick off and then you got the people like holding them back and they're like holding you back and you're like trying to like fight. That's the Holy Spirit with me. That's how the Holy Spirit be with me, just like holding me back because he's like, uh-oh. I wouldn't do it in real life, like, because she's an older woman and I have respect. I have decorum, you know what I mean? I have too much decorum for this life. Honestly, I'm too nice. I'm actually still too nice. But like a mother, like you birthed that child. She suckled from your teat. And you've done it how many times? You got how many kids? She's got like 5 kids. Kim, Courtney, Khloe, Kendall, Kylie, Rob. 6 kids, yeah, that we know of. You got 6 kids, so you've done this. She spent 45 months pregnant at least, or around, approximately, with a child in her womb with all the hormones. Listen, I'm on my period right now, so I'm hormonal myself, right? I've been crying about the fact that I'm the sperm that won, because why did I have to be a winner? Why am I always winning? Why did I have to be the sperm that won? The thing is, yeah, I'd be saying really deeply emotional stuff that I genuinely feel, but then it then makes me laugh because it's also obviously ridiculous. You know what I mean? Because it's ridiculous. Like, why am I crying about being the sperm that won? Oh my gosh. But anyway, prostitutes her daughter, and then Kim goes to her next shoot. She's doing a shoot for Playboy again. Why is my daughter doing Playboy? I'd be like, girl, have you seen yourself? Have you seen how beautiful and stunning you are? You need to look after yourself, right? And a man who respects you and appreciates you for who you are, the way God created you to be, then you can go ahead and get as nasty as you want, in the privacy, in the comfort, in the protection, in the safety of being with somebody who respects you. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do. Listen, when people get married, you guys do whatever you want to do. You know, like, I don't care. Like, that's not the point. The point is, like, who is you as a mother? Like, if he's respecting you, whatever, do what you want to do. Just don't tell me about it, because I'm still your mother and I don't want to know. But you know what I mean? You're executive producing. Like, imagine being there. Like, I've been there directing things. Like, it was my dream to be a creative director, and I did get to do that. Like, creative directing, you're there, you're in the studio. That's the reason I have the same issue with this Cat's Eye thing. These girls on Cat's Eye, right? When they started, they went into like a couple year program, but when they first started, Yunche in the group, she was 14, right? You've got like a whole group, there's like 15 adults. Watch the thing on Netflix. It's on Netflix. Watch it for yourselves, you guys. You've got like 15, 20 adults, and they all came together, right? All the Hollywoods of the world came together. The K-pop Koreans came, the Americans came, everybody came. You got all these adults watching these girls, right? Doing all this derogatory, degenerate, and listen, I love to shake my ass on a good day, okay? In the privacy of my own home, not showing anybody what day. You know what I mean? I'm not against expressing yourself, and especially being an African girly. Like, there's actually a line, because for a lot of traditional dancing and like stuff that comes from Africa, like can't speak for the rest of the world. That's why I'm only speaking for myself, as I said earlier. There is a lot of like, you know, movement of the hips and you know, whatever, which is but it's not really sexual. Like, I feel like a lot of guys, if you see like a lot of men in Africa, like I think they don't necessarily consider it as sexual as a lot of people do in the West, I would say, because it's just part of it, and they're also just used to seeing like the bodies, like they're just used to seeing it. Like, it's not a big deal. It's just an average day at the office. That's what I'm saying. It's an average day at the office. But yeah, so these girls, yeah, they've got all these people, these execs, and you're telling a child, you're like, okay, yeah, we need more sex. We need more sex from you. Like, why? Why can't they just be their talent? Like, Tate McRae is another one who I love. I love Tate McRae. I think she's beautiful. I think she's got she's so talented as a dancer. She's so talented. But she's another one that has to do like sex on steroids, like, right, to get people to, she has to be naked every 5 minutes. She's been on tour back to back. I'm worried for her. I'm actually worried. Like, now when I see these stars, Cat's Eye, Tate McRae's, all of these, I'm worried for them. I'm worried for them, like, what's happening with them, like, because I just know that the industry is just taking advantage. They're over-sexualizing the girls of the industry, the guys, the young boys, bless their hearts. Like, you know, their dads and their grandfathers, yeah, were, like, you know, doing whatever they were doing with, like, a little magazine. Now they've got access to 4K HD, like, you know what I mean? Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? Like, I'm actually, like, worried for my generation. Like, I really am. It's just so sad, like, and it's just, like, my childhood was a lie. Like, my whole entire childhood was a lie. It was a lie. It was a lie. The only thing that wasn't a lie about my childhood was my relationship with God, and praise Jesus that I gave my life to Christ. And I didn't realize how big of a moment that was when I was just there, like 7. I remember the moment I gave my life to Christ, because I remember saying it like 8, 10, 20 times, because I was like, God, is this real? Has this happened? Like, but like, I believe that it was, because looking back, I was so sincere in the way that I was like, God, Jesus, like, I accept you, like, I receive you, like, as like, I receive you, like, really. And it was a private moment between me and God. Like, nobody else was there. It wasn't in church or anything. It was actually when I was at home. It was actually when I was in my bedroom by myself. And I remember saying to the Lord, like, you know, God, like, Jesus, I receive you as my Lord and Savior. Like, you know, like, I receive you like 100%, and I meant it with my whole heart, and I'm so grateful. And I believe that's why the Lord protected me from ever getting involved. There was times I had opportunities, like one of these families that we know from the States, like, had invited us. They were like, yeah, we got this cool deal with this agent for the kids to get into whatever. I was all going to be leaving school to go to the States to go and start auditioning for stuff. When it fell through, because I won't say why it fell through. I'm too nice. I don't want to put people on blast. But the kids who were involved, like, they got into stuff. They got into adverts. One of them ended up on Disney Channel. Like, it was kind of like, and like, I look at all this stuff, like, I was in the industry myself. I was there working. I was ignorant. I was stupid. I went out to uni at 18 thinking, yeah, I was barely 18. I would have been 18 5 months when I went to uni, right? When I went to move out in London. And I'm there in London alone, me who doesn't like to follow the rules, me who loves a bit of mischief, me who's an initiator, like, of chaos, like, in life. I'm always the one, even in school, they'd be like, I'd get in trouble and they'd be like, call me to the office. They're like, we know you're the ringleader. Those are the teachers always used to say, we know you're the ringleader. And I'll just be like, I didn't see myself as that at the time. I was like, you guys being over dramatic. And I still think to this day, I still think the teachers are over dramatic about a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are being hella over dramatic. But in hindsight, yeah, I was, because even at uni, like, when I was 18, I would always be the one, like, I would, like, go to the bar, I would buy, like, 20 shots, 30 shots, 50 shots, and I'll walk around and just hand the free shots out. Like, do you want to free, like, because I'm just that person who's like that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just, So it's like, if I'd ended up in Hollywood, God forbid, like, if I grew up in the United States, this is why I realized that the Lord letting me live in this country and grow up in this country was him having me under supervision, because, like, he's like, it's a lot tamer here. This is good for you. You're gonna be uncomfortable, but it's good for you. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of a protective measure. And again, this I'm saying, like, everything I'm saying about God and me It's all him, like, looking after me, like, and like giving me the boundaries required to keep me on the straight and narrow. And I'm still just about fighting, because I'm still fighting all these freaking everything else, which he's still doing more work than I'm doing. And I'm so grateful to God for that. And that's what makes me know that, like, my relationship with God and how I relate to God and what God does for me, I'm like, I wouldn't be here. Like, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be having my head together. I wouldn't be sitting just like my morning, my ideal morning on a Saturday, whatever the day the heck of the week it is right now, enjoying just sitting on the swings. Is it raining? I wouldn't enjoy just sitting on the swings, you know, and, you know, talking to you guys and be making videos about this if it wasn't for God. Like, I wouldn't have my head together if it wasn't for God. I wouldn't be the woman I am if it wasn't for God. Only God. And so when I see this stuff and I see the child's stars, I just think, my generation, like, we were failed, and we were all failed in different ways. I think every generation has its own version of failure from the generation that came before, you know. But I just think we have to get to a point where we stop making excuses. That's why, like I said, I'd rather never ever have a child and get the full brunt of criticism if it's going to make me a better person and I'm going to heal and I'm going to get better, than I would have a child just for everybody to make excuses, be like, oh, but being a mother, because being a mother, what? Kris Jenner's been pregnant for 45 years. Do you know what I mean? 45 years is a lot. Anyways, you guys, I've talked enough. So I'm going to leave that there, because I'll go on about this forever, but you get the gist. Anyways, my heart just goes out to my generation. Anyways, my generation, I love you guys. If life's a game is pay to win, God bless you. God loves you. I love you, you guys. And yeah, stay tuned for what's coming up. I've got so much stuff coming up, but yeah, I'm just upset. I'm just sad. That's what it is. Like, I'm not even like, it's just heartbreaking to think I was so excited all these years just to know that these people were being abused, and like where they're at now, they can't even get the help they need because it's not societally acceptable. Because in society, what's acceptable is ignoring the elephant in the room and protecting predators. Anyways, I'm going to shut up now, guys, and enjoy the rest of this outdoorsy thing. So yeah.